Author Sharon Moore based much of Hollywood Strip on her very own showbiz experience. What then proceeds from her first print ad, Moore made good on her dream of leaving Michigan hometown for the bright lights of Hollywood. For almost 8 years, she worked as a model and actress, appearing in national commercials, international publications, TV shows, and feature film. But 4 years ago, things changed. She states, though I had a life mapped out, several years later I realized I was bored. We'll talk to the author Sharon Moore on her new book and find out more on Hollywood's Up and Close. I'm Rick Anthony, and welcome to the program. What is Hollywood Strip about, and why did you write it? It's a two-part question.
Hollywood Strip is about a small-town girl from the Midwest, much like myself. Her name is Callie. She comes out to Los Angeles in search of fame and fortune and the whole Hollywood dream. And she encounters quite a few scandalous and dramatic events that show her that perhaps things aren't quite as they seem. And among them, murder and all sorts of salacious things like that.
Is this fictional?
Pardon?
Is it fictional?
It is fiction. It's a work of fiction. It's a novel, but I definitely relied on some of my own experiences as inspiration. It's based on my life in part, but very tweaked, if you will. Very, very manipulated, and, that's the beauty of fiction.
Would you encourage any young person to come to Hollywood and follow their dreams, even you felt ultimately to leave the entertainment business?
Oh, absolutely. I don't believe in having regrets. I think that you should absolutely do whatever is in your heart. Life is way too short, but I would encourage people to always have a backup plan, because I think so many men and women come out to Los Angeles thinking they're going to be the next Angelina or, something like that, and things don't always go as you plan them. But with that said, I have absolutely no regrets whatsoever. I'm very happy that I came out here, but I evolved as a person also, and that's basically why I left the entertainment industry. I changed a great deal about 4.5 years ago, and I evolved, and I just realized that the things that I wanted in my early 20s were not the things that I wanted in my early 30s. So I made a change with my life.
Oh, that's cool. What is it, and what was life like for you when you arrived in Hollywood?
Oh, goodness. I was 23 years old, fresh off the boat from Flint, Michigan. And I remember looking around on the freeway. I had just rolled in, driving cross country in my little Saturn. And I remember looking all around me, and I was surrounded on the 405 with nothing but Jaguars and BMWs, and it really hit me. I'm in LA, and I feel completely out of my league. Like, I feel just completely sort of vulnerable, and I was just feeling a little, if you can believe this, as superficial as it sounds, I was just feeling a little embarrassed about my crummy little car. Immediately, I felt this need to have a sort of image. That was one of the very first memories that I recall, is that it's a very image-conscious society here in Los Angeles.
Was it to succeed as far as you did? Why did you become an author now?
That's a good question. I don't know if I can give you a straight answer on that. I've always loved writing. I've always loved books. When I was a little girl, I was always buried in books. But it just occurred to me, well, I had just read Valley of the Dolls, the Jacqueline Suzanne novel back from the 60s. And I had just gotten done reading this. This was about 4.5 years ago. And I was in my then therapist's office having a session with him. And it just occurred to me. I thought, you know what? I can write a book. I can write a juicy, salacious, sexy book. And I have a lot of experiences to draw on. So it was just sort of a combination of just having recently read something that inspired me, and Dr. Friedman. Maybe he had something to do with it. I don't know, but
right.
I just went with it. I wrote it the next day. I began it the next day.
So how long did it take you?
It took me about a year to write it. That includes editing and things like that. And then I had to find an agent and a publisher, which was the real battle right there. That was the real drama, actually. That was much more difficult than writing a novel.
What did you learn from that process of writing, publishing, and getting an agent?
I learned that I can do anything that I set my mind to, basically. I can do if I can write a novel without having any previous publishing credits, I mean nothing, not a magazine piece, nothing. If I can write a novel and have it published, especially in this day and age in which it's very difficult to have a book published to begin with, I can do anything. I mean, I really have this incredible amount of gratification. I feel like I was pregnant for the past 4.5 years, and I'm finally giving birth next Tuesday, June 18th, and that's when my book, Hollywood Strip, comes out.
Very good. What was the most fulfilling thing that happened to you in your career as an actress, a model, and the most forgettable thing you've ever done?
I would say probably the most fun I ever had was the very last role that I did. I was the lead in this very campy Sony horror film called Zombie Strippers. You can just imagine what that would be like just based on the title alone. But, it had Robert Englund and Jenna Jameson in it, and it was just incredibly bloody and, just TNA galore. But it was really fun because it was so overtly campy and ridiculous. And that was probably the most fun I ever had, but that was also, like I said, the very last role that I had, in which I just said, I just don't think I can do this anymore. It's kind of boring for me. It's not really fulfilling. So, it was kind of a catch-22, that last part.
And the most forgettable thing?
Oh, the most forgettable thing. That was probably the very first role I ever booked in a film. It was this very low-budget movie called Totally Blonde, and I had I think a one-line part. I was a waitress, and that was about 12, 13 years ago. The main star of that, the male lead, was a then unknown singer named Michael Bublé.
Wow.
And it was a very forgettable movie. Very.
Where can your book be purchased, and how much is it?
You can purchase Hollywood Strip on Amazon.com. It's still currently available for pre-sale. And I'm not quite sure what the sale price is. The regular price is $24.99. And it comes out next Tuesday, on June 18th.
Cool. Do you have a website also?
I do. You can come visit me at ShamronMoore.com, and I have some links to Amazon, to my Instagram, Facebook, Twitter accounts, things like that.
Cool.
And, yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you, Rick. I appreciate it.
That was the author, Shamron Moore, talking about her new book, Hollywood Strip, available today. Well, that's all the time we have today. You've been listening to Hollywood's Up and Close. Thank you for listening.